Hi everyone, and welcome to our live stitch out of a fleece hat. I'm going to show you guys how to make a fleece hat today. A simple design. This is the one that I showed in my video the other day of one of our new kitty cat peekers, and I'm going to show you how to make the hat. I already have the machine stitching out the applique, so you don't have to sit and watch that because it was like a 30-minute stitch out, so you're welcome for that. If you haven't done a peeker or an applique design before, you can check out the videos that we have on our event page. We also have some on the YouTube channel, and we have some just straight in the group. So anyway, we aren't stitching out the cat today. We are stitching out another peeker. I'm going to finish letting that stitch. It's got about 14 minutes left. So we're going to get started on the rest of it. And so this won't take it too long. Hi everyone. Hi Heather and Sonia. Thank you so much for joining us, and Yvonne and participating. I enjoy it. If you guys have any questions along the way, make sure and ask me. And we're going to get started. So the way I started with this one is there's fleece on the outside. This is fleece, so it's not going to fray. And I have like a jersey knit on the inside. We were making headbands out of this summer, so I had it laying around. And it looks super cute on the inside. A lot of the tutorials that I watched online, and I read a lot of tutorials before doing this, and every one of them suggests double layers of fleece. And we live in Missouri, it gets cold, but it's still so hot to wear 2 layers of fleece. So I'm using the jersey knit as long as it's stretchy, and you don't want it to fray, because like if you see the tops up here, the fabrics are both there. So yeah, sorry my blinds are open, so I'm a little distracted watching people are going by outside. So anyway, I'm going to turn the machine back on, so it might be a little loud. If you have troubles hearing me, let me know, type below, and I'm going to finish this one up. So anyway, so we're going to start with 2 pieces of fabric. What I did, I made this to fit Jordan's head. So I measured her head around. I used just simple measuring tape. Seamstress measuring tape, I guess. And her head measured just around 19 inches. And it says to leave a 1/2 inch seam allowance. I'm using a serger, and I don't plan on cutting any of it off. So I made it right a little bit under that, under her head. So anyway, when you're making a hat, and I can find measurements for other hats, and I'll post them below if you're making them for a cracker or something and you want a wide range of fabrics, a wide range of sizes. You can look up what a typical hat size is, or head size for a various ages, and then just add a 1/2 inch. So here's the fabric that I'm using today, and again, it's jersey knit fabric. And so my pattern is going up and down on the short side of it. So if you have a fabric that goes in a specific direction, make sure that your long way is the stretchy way, and then you can go from there. And then my piece of fleece is cut the exact same size, and that is on the machine right now. It has about 12 minutes left. So that second piece is going to sandwich in here, and that's where we're going to sew it all together. So you want to cut your 2 pieces of fabric. If it's not working, if the live video isn't working, back out and then come back in. Or refresh your browser. You'll still be able to come back in and pick up where you left off. So I see a couple people are having trouble. Deb and Heather, try and back out and come back in. The easiest way to cut your fabric, I know it's hard to hear. The easiest way to cut your fabric is, I like using a rotary cutter. It gets it nice and even and gives you nice straight edges, and it's super easy. And anyway, again, for those of you just joining us, cut 2 pieces of fabric. This one is right about 20 inches, and I did 15 inches tall. It says anywhere from 10 to 11. And then add however long you want your phrase to be at the top. So mine are about 3 inches. So add 3 inches. And on this particular one, I want it to roll up. So I added another little bit at the bottom. So I ended up with 15 by right around 20. And this is for my daughter Jordan, who is 9, almost 10 this month. So I'm going to finish up the stitching really quick since it's hard to hear me. I went ahead and started this because I didn't want you guys to have to sit and watch and listen to that for a half hour. So I'll let you watch the end of it. Whoops.
Yummy.
Whoops. And if you have any questions, go ahead and you can type them below. Yay, Heather, I'm glad you're able to watch it now. Hi, Amanda. Whoops, I'm going to pause it from stitching for a minute to answer some questions. Terry, I am using Micri vinyl on the Peeker design. The fabric below is fleece. And you can use different types of fabrics for your appliques. I prefer the Micri vinyl just because it really makes it pop, and it's going to look super cute on this hat. Heather, the piece of fabric on the machine is the exact same size as the piece that I cut out for the inside. And this particular one is 15 by right around 20 because I made it to fit Jordan's head. And I went around her head circumference and then from front to back. And then I added a 1/2 inch for seam allowance, even though I'm not going to use that much. because I'm serging it, it'll make it a little bigger and she can kind of slouch it if she wants. And also, Adam and Lori Worth, I will post instructions after I do this. I'm going to show you where I put the peeker design, Pam, when I get this off. This was a 30-minute stitch out, so I wanted to focus more on making the hat than making the peeker design, since I've done a couple tutorials on that so far. So I'm trying to get this one stitched out, and then I'll go over more of the details with it for right now. So I'm going to go ahead and get this going again. Okay, we are on the final satin stitch, so we're almost done and we can get going on the hat part. I use the Pellon brand. It's at Joann's and it's plasticky and it's wash away. And this is backwards because I've got it showing, but forward facing, but it's Solufilm 551 and it's embroidery wash away. You're welcome. Two more minutes and then we'll be done with the stitch out. Hey girls, I'm glad you were able to make it. We're just finishing up the stitch out. Hi, Teresa. Teresa, you haven't really missed anything yet. I wasn't really doing a tutorial on the design part. I haven't started the hat yet, so I'll go back. I was trying to finish this up. I'm going to go back and explain some things after. I'm going to take this out. Whoops. I had a stray thread and he got under everything. Okay, so here is our stitch out. We did the cookie today. Alicia, you are new to embroidery, so I'm just going to explain real quick. So here's my hoop. I have my stabilizer down, and then I actually just laid my piece of fleece on top, and then I pinned it so it wouldn't move. So my hoop, I hooped my stabilizer and then laid my fleece down. Now the Solufilm that we were talking about during the stitch out, this would lay on top of my fleece, and then I would stitch everything on top of it, so it would lay like this, and I would stitch on top of it so that my threads, as they stitch, don't sink into the fleece. It just helps it sit on top more, if that makes any sense. Oh, Kinsley just walked in. What cereal? Did you have roast? You're still hungry? I can get you some in just a little bit, okay? Okay, I'm going to finish making the hat.
Or I could give myself some.
Yeah. Okay, so here it is. I'm just going to unhoop her. And then I'm going to explain for the hat. So I'm going to turn you around.
I know that name. I know that her name.
Okay, come here. You're going to tell them who we're stitching out? Who was this?
Cookie.
Her name's Cookie. Awesome. All right, go on. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to turn this way. Move the computer out of the way. So for the hat, you want 2 pieces of fabric. I am using fleece on the outside, and I'm using the jersey type fabric on the inside. You can use 2 pieces of fleece. It just makes it super thick, and my kids' heads get hot so fast. So we're not doing 2 layers of fleece here. I'm going to do the one. For the design, Sonia, you can put it down as far as you want. On this one, I put it up a bit because I plan on rolling this up. So you're going to see the Shopkins fabric when the hat rolls up. So I just left as much room as so I have a seam allowance in here, and then I have the amount of space that I want to roll it up. So then this peeker will sit right there when she actually has the hat on. So this one is pretty deep. I know a lot of the instructions they say to use, I think one of them was like 11 inches, one was 12 inches for how tall you want it. So I just took about that much, and then I added how much I want for the top. I want my things, my little fringe, and then I want the bottom. I would rather go bigger, and then once I make it, the fringe might be super long and I'm not going to like it, then I could cut it. So I just made it really tall, and then we'll see at the end how it ends up working out if I like it. Alicia, you probably wouldn't want to use flannel on the inside because this is going to go on their head and it needs to stretch. You want your fabric stretchy. Fleece stretches, and so does this. This is super stretchy just because of the nature of how a hat works. So yeah, you definitely want to use stretchy fabric. Jersey fabrics and something that'll breathe, possibly just to help it not be as thick and hot. And then the fleece, because you do want it to keep them warm. Okay, so the second tip, so for mine, I have my 2 pieces of fabric. They're cut the exact same size. Typically when you put right sides together, you would want your people facing up. Like for the cat one, I didn't put him up as far because I'm not gonna roll this. I didn't leave much of a brim on here. But this one didn't really have an up or down, so it didn't matter which way it went. And if you use a solid color, you're not gonna care. You just want the stretch to be the long length. So if your fabric stretches this way, you want this way to be your longer one. And you want this one stretches both ways, but you want the not as stretchy one to go up and down. I am laying my inside piece upside down because, again, when I flip it, when it's all sewn, it's going to be sewn like this. And then I'm going to flip this up like this. I want my fabric to be facing the right way for this brim. So this piece is laying upside down. My fabrics, the Shopkins, I got at Joann's. I bought a bunch of them we were making headbands this summer when we first bought the serger. And so I got like these baby prints. This one was more because it was in the baby section. The Shopkins, obviously, because it's character print. But they also have it in solid colors. And, but yeah, the prints, they're just kind of mixed in. At our Joann's, there isn't like a specific spot. Like the Shopkins was with a whole end cap of Shopkins stuff. So I would just maybe ask them where they keep their printed ones, but they just seem to be mixed in. Like I said, this one was with the baby fabrics over by the flannels and cottons, and then we had a whole stack of them. But they also had like gymnastic leotard stuff. That was all in a section. So just kind of depends on what you're looking for. So back to our hat. So I'm going to lay my pieces down. And I'm going to lay my cookie face down on top of it. And then at the bottom, so here's the bottom of the peeker here. At this end, I'm going to pin, because this is where we're going to sew. So I'm going to pin this together. And I'm using my serger today because my machines are still in timeout. And I like to run over pins with my serger, so I'm using these clips. These are Wonder Clips. I get them at Amazon and Joann's. So I'm just going to put these on there. So this is the length of it. And it's at the bottom. This is the edge that's going to be right on their forehead. Okay, so I have this all pinned. Yes, Amanda, they are. My mom took a look at one of them, and it just needs new needles. And I have 8 million embroidery needles. I do not have one extra sewing machine needle. She oiled it, she cleaned it out, and it seems to be running fine. It was just snapping threads every once in a while. So they're moving. They are in the room. Here they are. The sewing machines are back in the sewing room. They're not technically in timeout, but I'm not using them. They're still not being used. So anyway, so here's the length at the bottom. I'm going to sew along just this one line. I'm going to sew a seam here. And also, another thing, oh my gosh, I'm really red from soccer fields today. When you sew, if you're not using a serger, you can use a stretchy stitch on your sewing machine. You do not want a straight stitch because you want it to stretch when they put the hat on their head, because a hat is going to stretch. And if you do not use a stretchy stitch and you put it on their head, chances are, unless it's too big for them, it's going to snap all your threads, and then you're going to have some fabric. And that's it. So I'm going to sew along, or serge along that bottom line. And if you're using a serger, you may not need to add a seam allowance either, unless you're going to cut off. I'm not cutting off much. Okay, so now we have our fabric. This is the top where the fringe is going to be, and this is the bottom edge that we've serged together. The rest is open. Nothing else is sewn together. Just that one little seam there. Sandy, honestly, I love my serger. I have not used, and that's why my machines are probably mad at me and not working, is because I have not used them much since I got my serger. A lot of what I do anymore is straight stitching. I don't, sorry, I know I love showing off more functional tools, and I felt the same way the first time I watched a tutorial done. We were making headbands this summer. The first time I watched the tutorial be done on a serger, I was like, oh my gosh, we're getting one. We went out and we bought one, and it has been a lifesaver. My 14-year-old runs it and absolutely loves it. Yes, I do think if you're just doing basic stuff, a serger is great. I want to get my sewing machines up and running because, like, hats like this, if you're going to flip it up, I saw a tutorial where she put a really cute top stitch around it, so when you flip it up, it has, like, cute little stitching going across the top, and it's great. It's so cute, and my machines, like, I have a quilting sewing machine, and it has, like, all these, well, you can't see it. It has all these really pretty top stitches, and so I'm hoping to figure that out, and maybe I'll be able to show how cool that is. And, yeah, Michelle, I would start watching YouTube videos about how awesome sergers are. I honestly have not had to rethread it yet. I bought one and couldn't, like, it took me an hour to rethread it, and then I got mad at it, and it shot needles at my eyes, and I took that one back. And then I got this Brother one from Walmart. I had bought one from Joann's, and of course I'd like the Baby Lock one from my dealer, but I'm not going to use it that much to need a $1,000 serger. So anyway, back to our tutorial. Sorry. Now we have 2 pieces of fabric, and I'm going to take it back over here. And now that it's open, we're going to open it, and we're going to fold it in half this way. So you're your serged or sewed seam, and then you're going to have all of your shopkins or your printed whatever, your inside fabric on one side, and all of your other fabric on the other. And then now we're going to sew along this. So make sure your seams here are lined up. I always start in the middle and work my way out. So you want to line those up so that when your hat is on, it has a nice finish at that edge where it meets. And I am going to pin that and hope that, just so my seams don't move, hope that I remember and don't run over it with the serger. And just kind of, my design is really puffy here, so I'm just going to hold that, or push that down. She ate roast earlier. She's hungry again.
Oh, she's ready?
Yes, but thank you for sharing.
You should design something on this.
You'd wear that, but you don't want to wear the shopkins?
No.
Too old for shopkins?
Yes. I don't like shopkins anymore. Like, what's the whole point of that?
As Kinsley would say, they're collectibles. Yeah. Okay, so now here it is. It's all pinned and ready to go. So I have all of one fabric on one side, all of the other fabric on the other side. Now I'm going to sew along here. Or serge. We're going to serge along there. Oh, Athena, I am not rowing anything today. I did wear them to church this morning. And then I ran 4 miles with Kaylin. And so I had some athletic pants on and then came home and we had soccer. So I had other leggings on. So I'm just wearing boring running athletic leggings. So I have this big giant tube now. Athena, you can share them in our group. Tammy, my machines probably look backwards to you because I have my iPad facing me so that I can read your comments. So that's why it looks crazy. I do have to show you something. Give me just a minute. Okay, so if you guys were at my live video the other day, you guys saw that my mom and I went to a cross-stitching convention and someone asked if we bought anything fun. And yes, we found the cutest scissors. Look how little these are. So this is my hand. And these are my scissors. And then this lady was making these cute little fobs. So anyway, these are really nice and sharp and great for cutting threads. And so here's your answer. I'm not LuLaRoeing today, but I did pick some up. We've got Dracula's, so they will make an appearance. And then Kaylin will not let go of these. And then we might have a few more pairs coming. And then these are getting shipped to North Carolina. How cute are these? And these. Okay, so back. Oh, Sandy, my Ginger scissors I just rolled over something. These are what I use for applique. Best scissors ever for applique. But these are just for cutting little snips. They're just so cute, I couldn't pass them up. So, okay, now we have our tube. I turned it the right way out on both sides. And now I'm going to take the end. Get my chair out of the way. I'm going to take the end and put it inside here. So now the wrong sides are facing each other. And this is where a top stitch would be helpful. It'll keep this from rolling once it's on. But for now, I'm just rolling it. What? No. What time is it?
6:40.
Yeah, you guys can play for a little bit. Is she coming here?
Or you were going to go on the trampoline?
Oh yeah, you can go jump. Okay, so I have these all lined up. And what I'm going to do now is cut the fringe. I learned a little tip in one of my videos that I watched. And, what, babe?
I know this name.
What?
Poppy.
Poppy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I have my fabric laying down. And I'm going to cut the fringe on this end. This is the bottom that's going to go on her head. And this is the fringe end. And I've lost all my camera people. One is at youth group and one went to jump. So bear with me here. So I already have it measured out. I wanted 3-inch. There's Kinsley. I want 3-inch fringe. And I'm going to use these scissors. What I've done is I measured out 3 inches.
Okay, I'm going
And that's the red line here.
I'm going to chasing then jump.
You're going to go jump outside with the girls? Okay. So I'm going to go, it'll go until I hit that red line. And there is my line. Okay, so I'm going to go along. I'm going to cut through both layers here. And again, I'm going until my fabric lines up with the little red line. Michelle, yes, Kinsley had to come show her troll. Now she's going outside to jump on the trampoline. And you can make these as thin or as thick as you want. I'm making mine about 1/4 of an inch apart. So I'm just going to cut all the way down. And this is nice with the line on there because I don't have to keep checking. I can just put the edge. You can go to her house, but Kinsley wants to jump with you. So can you guys jump here and then you can go to her trampoline? Oh. Whatever. Neighborhood kids want to play, and now Kinsley's going to get left behind. She'll be back. And then on this last one, I'm going to open it up and cut right in. Let me see. Patricia, I sewed using my serger, and honestly, I have not changed it. So whatever stitch it's on, I know you can do different stitches with the serger. Thank you, Athena. If you use the sewing machine, yes, it is a stretch stitch. Thank you. I'm distracted right now. Jordan went to Erica's, but you can go jump. Go see if Eris wants to come jump with you. Yep. Cut through the yard. So now, here's our hat right now. This is the bottom. Kinsley, wait a minute. And this is the top where the fringe is. I'm going to have Mike show this because now I have no kids to show it on. And I need one more piece of fabric. I need you to stay until I cut this, okay? Because I need you to try it on and show them how it looks, okay?
That's what I came in here for.
Thank you. Actually, I'm gonna cut a strip of my Shopkins fabric, and I'm gonna cut it, since it rolls, I'm gonna cut it a little wider than what I cut my my pieces at. So now I have one piece, and again, it's with the stretch. You can go with or against. There was actually, people said multiple things. So again, I want to make sure that this is rolled to the end, lined up. And then we're going to gather all of our little things together at the end, our little flip fringe.
Yeah, that looks beautiful.
And I'm going to tie it. So I gathered all the fringe, and I'm going to tie it right here with this extra piece.
Cookie.
And I'm going to tie it tight.
Are you going to cut those?
Yep, I will cut them in just a minute. So I just tie it into a simple knot here. And then I'm going to cut them to match the fringe, so they'll blend right in. And then you puff the fringe out.
Then it's a hat.
She did tell me it's so beautiful. She gives me so many compliments. I love it. She is very sweet. Oh, there's her troll again. She's waiting patiently to go to her friends.
To ask if she's my friend.
Ask if she, I don't know if she's home.
Or
Okay, so now
Oh, it's just
Oh my gosh, and let me tell you. So I have multiple rotary cutters. I don't know where my blue one is. Oh, here. Okay. So here's my collection of rotary cutters. I have a few. Oh, this one I bought the bigger. I didn't realize the bigger blades. The guard is on, don't worry. The bigger blades are for thicker fabrics. This has made my life so much easier when I started cutting towels and fleece. And then this one has a cool end that I use. It's a skip stitch. And it's for when I use fleece, I can go along the bottom and it pokes holes in it. It perforates the fleece, and then I can crochet around the edges. It gives it a cute little finished edge. And then these ones, this one I didn't really like. It was really hard and it made squeaky noises and it drove me crazy. But my favorite are the Fisker ones. I just like the way they feel, and they're easy to lock and hold on to. And I still have all 10 fingers, so must be working. Okay, so now I have the hat, and I'm going to show. Come here, kittens. Let's see if oh, you got your dragon. Okay, can you back up? We're going to show them. Oh, your hair's a mess. And I made this hat to fit my older daughter, so it's probably going to be a little big on Kinsley. You're back up. But see, remember, I left this, so now I can flip it up.
My face.
I know, I'm going to show your face. And still...
But not my eyes.
It's still a little big. But there you go. So you've got, and here, again, remember, I had this fabric upside down. So now these pieces, no matter how big I go... These pieces are facing the right direction when she's wearing it.
Cookie.
Yeah, there she is again. So we're going to pull it down. This is where it would go.
Hey, where's my face?
Where's your face? You don't have a face, it's the cookie. The cookie's peeking out. Okay, so here it is, finished.
Now I'm going to finish it so I can go to it.
So I think I'm going to stock up on these for a craft fair because this is probably my favorite one. And then here's the kitty one we did the other day. And then this one, I didn't leave as much space here. So, I mean, you could still fold it a little bit and have a little brim if you want. But the fleece is thicker, so it's probably not going to roll quite as well. But it just gives you a couple different options of things to do with them. So if you guys end up making these, please, if you have any questions, make sure and post them in the Facebook group. And I will post some dimensions, and I'll post some links to a couple of the tutorials that I watched in case you have any other questions, if I missed anything. Since it's live, I don't use editing software, so things can get lost, or if you cut in and out, you can see how they do it, and it's not quite as distracting as my kids running in and out and things like that. But we love going live. I like the interaction with you guys. So this one was a special request by a couple people that were watching the live feed a couple days ago. So if you guys have any kind of not questions, any kind of tutorials you want me to go over, let me know. And Audrey, I will work on a size chart, and based on things that I made differently, based, like when I added a little bit extra one direction, for the rolling, things like that. I'll add like a PDF, not a PDF, but I'll add a file to the group page of different tips and links to where you can find more information. So I'm so glad you guys joined me today. If you guys end up making some hats, please share them on the group page. We love sharing projects and ideas, and we have a lot of fun. So again, if you have any more tutorials you want me to do, let me know. And if you missed any of this, I will be posting it soon. It'll stay in the events part of my website or of the Facebook group. It will also end up on the YouTube channel by this evening as soon as I get it loaded. So hope you guys have a good night and a relaxing end to your weekend. And Terry Baker, one last question. I get my vinyl from the color I used today.
Mommy.
Hi, Sweepy. She went outside. The color I used today I got from Meekery World. And this black that I used on my cat the other day I got from Punk Broidery. Two extremely awesome groups to get vinyl from and quick shipping. And they'll refund your shipping if you overpay by 50 cents or something, 75 cents maybe. So anyway, great customer service. So I'll post all those as well. So again, thanks for joining us and have a good night. Talk to you guys later.